Well, the delay on coming into court hasn't really bothered Rafa. Starts as he means to go on, and looking very sharp in his opening service game.
47-4 against lefties. His record got a little bit of a hit though when he lost to Lopez at Queen's, but still a remarkable win-loss record against lefties for Nadal.
Why is that?
You know what, it's a great question. I think because he nullifies their best serve, and that's why I said I think that Lopez actually has to go with his sort of least favourite serve, but Lopez beaten him a couple of times. Gilles Muller and Chris Guccione. It's amazing. And against Guccione he had to retire, so really that's only three losses. There's the intent from Lopez early on. He was coming in behind that serve. I also feel like this is an easier match for Nadal because it's over 5 sets against Lopez. You know, you've got to manage your emotions well in this sort of match, whereas on a grass court you can come in there, you can be fired up, you can just give it everything, you can redline it from first point to last, you're not going to get tired physically. But in a match like this there is a part of that, and Nadal just manages, you know, his emotions so well.
Well, he's using the expensive part of the racket at the moment, Lopez. That does not bode well.
Some return there, wasn't it? That was a pretty decent serve, and that was into down the tee as well, so that was a bit ominous.
I'm not sure about managing his emotions. Lopez managing his game is looking a little tricky here. I'm not sure how comfortable he is in these kind of conditions with his high-risk game. And under pressure immediately right at the start of this match. 3 chances for Nadal to take an early lead here. And Nadal gets the jump on Lopez.
Well, he's come to play, hasn't he just? I know Lopez mistimed a couple of balls in that, but that wasn't his worst service game of his career. He didn't pick up a point. Anxious looks from the Lopez camp.
Jose Clavé in the centre there with the multicoloured cap. Been working with Lopez since this time last year.
It would seem as though the wind stopped.
Oh, that one hit at 131 miles an hour. Maybe there is something in that little grip change for Nadal. Couple of aces in the game for the #1 seed, and he's only dropped a point so far. It looks ominous for Lopez. Nadal leading 3-love in this opening set. Well, I can't think of another Grand Slam event that tries so hard to keep the fans entertained at the change of ends, whether it's ice cream giveaways, hotel room giveaways, seat upgrades. They've got it all going on here at the Arthur Ashe Stadium, particularly on these night sessions. And they might have to keep the fans happy if Nadal continues to play in this manner.
Yes! Well, that'll keep the fans here. Won't keep Lopez here that long, though.
Not too much excitement, though, from Tony Nadal and Carlos Costa.
Routine. See it all the time.
They've seen it before in practice, haven't they? Nothing to it. Carlos Costa, the agent of Rafael Nadal and former top 10 player himself.
I was just thinking there's only one thing that the USJ could do on a coldish night like it's getting. I was at this bar the other night. It was on the 20th.
Strangely enough.
20th floor, and up there they have these dressing gowns, red dressing gowns that all the punters can stick on if they get a little chilly as the night wears on. Probably a bit expensive for 22,500 people to be able to provide all that, but I thought that's a pretty novel idea.
Only you could rock up in a place when they supply dressing gowns. What's wrong with the patio heater?
Well, they have those as well.
slippers? Woolly hats?
No, just red dressing gowns. But I did think it was quite unique.
These two, of course, Davis Cup teammates. Both members of the team that won the Davis Cup in 2008-2009.
He's got some pace on that forehand tonight, hasn't he? Nadal, I mean, really going after it.
Just got an ominous look to it, hasn't it? Maybe Lopez needs to start thinking about what he wants to put on his bagel out here tonight, or a couple of bagels. It's just got a horrible feel to it, hasn't it, for the 28-year-old?
Yeah, he needs to get some traction pretty swiftly in this opening set. A million miles away, but he also needs to find a few first serves, because that is something that is conspicuous by its absent currently. Under 30% of them going in. Makes sense, doesn't it? Coming into his forehand side, you think he's going to be leaning to the backhand, but it's another thing that separates these great players from everybody else, their ability to balance and just hold their weight so they can go either way.
Well, Tracy Austin, two-time champion here, always talks about the top players being unbelievably stingy. I think Nadal's going to be incredibly stingy tonight. Tracy is going to be very happy with Rafa if he plays in this kind of manner. Well, he's got to go for it, hasn't he, Lopez?
That's a game-winning strategy. I'm not sure it's a match-winning strategy, but he is forced to have to try and take it on at the moment.
Well, we've only been on court 14 minutes and already you feel Lopez's mind in the washing machine. There's some worried faces in that player box. Luciano Lopez gets a game.
Well, Well, I'll be happy with that, Nadal, that he's just made him work a little bit longer on his own serve, just keep putting those doubts into Lopez's mind. But as I say, the first serve could really bail him out a little bit more often, Lopez, and you've got to expect him to pick it up. It's not going to stay as low as it is at the moment. So Nadal, to his credit, has taken his opportunity well to get that early break in.
Nadal, after winning his second Wimbledon, took a bit of a timeout to let those knees heal up. Went down to South Africa to watch Spain in the World Cup. And wasn't probably totally prepared at the beginning of August, coming into Toronto, the Toronto Masters and Cincinnati Masters, but got enough matches there. Got 7 matches before coming into this US Open.
That's good from Lopez. Credit to him. Starting to find his way into this match, timing the ball a little bit better. And there's that slice backhand. Nadal just unable to really boss the point as effectively when it's down that low.
So a little against the run of play. Lopez has 3 chances here to break back.
Would have liked to have seen Lopez just go after that a little bit more, just try and get that ball on the backhand, even a little chip chance just to surprise Nadal. Not often you get a second serve when Nadal's serving at break point. He's so good at getting his first serve into play, allowing himself to get that forehand off the return so he can start dominating the point.
Oh, sensational from Nadal. Had a lot of problem solving to do in that point.
It was sensational, no question about it. This particular forehand up the line, look at how he bends it onto it, and then Lopez is in big trouble. I do question Lopez's tactics in that point, though. He had a couple of chances where he could have gone for it, and I just don't think this sort of patient build-up is going to win him the majority of the points, which is clearly what you need to do to win a tennis match. And I feel as though if you're going to allow Nadal to move, run, get his forehand into play, it's going to be a pretty tough ask for Lopez to come through this.
Lopez gets another chance here.
Interesting to see if Nadal serves and volleys a little bit against Lopez, because the Spaniard does like to just block balls back into court, get himself involved in rallies. So opportunities for Nadal to get in and volley.
Just wide. Nadal taking the opportunity to sneak in there.
Again, he can sort of come in with confidence, can't he? Because he knows that Lopez is pretty much looking to chip the ball back into play off that side. So, smart tactics from the world number one.
Nadal deals with those 4 break points and comes out of that game unscathed, and it's the top seed who leads 4-1 in this opening set. The Spaniard, such a dominating presence at this year's US Open. No longer this US Open the domain of the purely hard court specialists. And the Spaniards no longer just the clay court specialists. They've got all-round games now, and we expect them in the latter stages of every slam. Bit of a problem here for Lopez, serving 1-4 down opening set.
Blistering forehand from Rafa. Problems will start mounting for Lopez as this match continues, if he continues in the same vein. calm box he has, isn't it? Feeling as though that wind's blowing just a little bit harder than it feels down there, because it's going backwards off a number of these shots that Nadal's hitting at him.
You almost feel almost half an hour played, and Lopez is already running out of ideas. He's been to plan A, B, C. He's working his way down the alphabet already. That gets him out of trouble, though.
Well, that's a play that's going to work. A 132-mile-per-hour serve out wide.
Would you like to see Lopez go sort of Route 1 tennis out here? Is that his best shot?
I mean, I think so. I mean, obviously you can't do it for every ball. You've got to respect the ball that Rafa's hitting, and you've got to play with a little bit of variety. I mean, you've still got to put the ball short on this ad side, swing it out wide. You've got to create space for the serve up the tee as well. You can't just solely go up the middle. But I just don't see with Rafa in this mood how he can win when he's going to play too patiently. His greatest friend tonight, actually, ironically, may well be the wind, because at one end, obviously, it's a lot tougher to hang on to your serve, and that slice becomes a little bit more effective because it's coming with the wind, it's staying a little lower, and Nadal obviously can't therefore hit it back with quite the same sort of purchase on it. So, you know, there's a few things out here that as the match goes on, a few variables that maybe can help Lopez.
Another pretty straightforward service game for Rafael Nadal. And when we come back, it'll be Lopez having to serve to stay in this opening set. But for now, it's Nadal 5-2 opening set. The closing stages of day 9 at this year's US Open. And so far, the top seed looking very strong here in this 4th round encounter.
And not far away from the beginnings of day 10.
Yes, it was a late start to the night session. All the fans being held back, a lot of them going into the Louis Armstrong Stadium to see Ferrer-Verdasco face off. It will be Verdasco to play the winner of this match in the quarterfinals.
Working very hard, Nadal, to not allow Lopez to feel comfortable on serve. I think he knows that, you know, Lopez can get in that rhythm, and we've seen it before where suddenly he bangs out aces time and time again. And again, it's, you know, there's a bit of strategy going on here. There's that psychological warfare where you're trying to outthink the opponent with where you're going to serve, and if he can get into a good rhythm, he does become a difficult proposition. He certainly has the heat. That's 135 again from Lopez.
It's quite an elongated movement as well that he has on that serve, Lopez. It really does load up. And Feliciano Lopez, the 23rd seed, probably wishes all his service games were as simple as that one. Well, Nadal very much benefiting from that early break he got right at the start of the set. Broke Lopez to love. And he's really sat on that break for the rest of the set, serving now to take a 1-set lead.
Great tennis, great from Lopez, and that's what I'm talking about with the wind. He can just guide the ball from the other end. He can get the ball to a length, and because of the wind, it's tough for Nadal to get through him. So he's got to find another way to try and get round him, or as we saw here, try and get in. So, you know, it's a little easier to play that kind of tennis with the wind for Lopez tonight. But this was some shot. Look how deep he was behind the baseline. It's not something that he necessarily does particularly well, is just load up a ball with heavy spin, but he did it then. I still think the serve and volley play from this end would be pretty beneficial for Nadal.
How comfortable is Nadal with someone just chipping away at him like this?
Comfortable. I mean, we've seen it with Federer in the past. The slice backhand doesn't work fantastically well against Nadal. It keeps him quiet, doesn't allow him to just jump on the ball and get through the court, but he can still generate enough pace to boss you around, move you out of position. But so you've got to come with something else as well. But it is sort of a safety net from that end for Lopez, just purely because Nadal's going to struggle to get enough pace to get through the wind.
Oh yes.
Great footwork. Really, really great footwork. So tough once he's in this position here. It's a good split step, good balance, but Lopez got no idea when Nadal's going to take that ball. He does now.
Third ace of the set for Nadal brings up 2 set points. It's only taken 39 minutes, but the top seed comfortable in this fourth round. He takes the first set and he takes it by 6 games to 3. Fast approaching midnight here in New York. And Rafael Nadal already with a comfortable lead here in this fourth round matchup. Quite a cool evening after a very warm, steamy day. Temperatures up in the high 80s earlier today. Packed crowds again here at the US Open. Records pretty much being broken most days in terms of attendance. Sadly for the Americans, the last American in the men's singles out of the draw. Sam Querrey going down in 5 sets to Stanislav Wawrinka.
I've got a good stat for you.
Have you got a good stat for me?
Got a good stat for you.
Well, bring it on.
Okay. Who is the only American player this year to make a quarter-final of a Grand Slam? Andy Roddick in Australia. And that is the worst showing by American men at the majors in the Open era.
I'm sure they'll be ever so pleased that you brought that up. Somehow he missed it. Oh, yes. And Lopez happy to take his game to Nadal. And the first love service game for Lopez. And just what he needed at the start of this second set. There's the bare bones of the opening set.
Just not a good enough first serve percentage for Lopez there. And Nadal managing his tennis well, winners to unforced errors. Although if you were trying to be the glass half full type of person for Lopez, you would have said, well, he had 4 break points, couldn't take them, and had he done so, he would have been a little bit more competitive in that opening set.
Definitely a couple of looks down the court from Nadal in that previous Lopez service game. I think very aware that his fellow Spaniard can hurt him out here if he gets on his game. of the best points he's played, Lopez, and starting to crank it up here now.
Starting to believe. And that is something that Nadal tried to stop him doing in that early part of the match.
How much out here does Nadal play the Rafa card in terms of he's such a godlike figure in Spain? I mean, all these guys look up to him. Is that a factor out on court?
I think so, for sure. I mean, I think that it is difficult for the other guys to sort of overcome sort of his status and everything else. But on the flip side of that, Sam, you know, obviously they need to try and forget that. And make a name for themselves, and there's a massive incentive to try and take his scalp.
Such presence, though, Nadal brings to any court. He held it on his racket for as long as he could. Such a good assault on the net there from Lopez.
Yeah, got enough pace on it, Nadal, on the pass. The one thing you would have to say about Lopez is not necessarily got the softest of hands. He is a good net player. He's not a great net player. Lopez played so many great shots in that point. Yeah, Lopez is pretty convinced this ball is out, but how good a point, as you say, Sam, was that from Lopez?
And it is out, and maybe Lopez really deserving that one.
Yes, I think we would be asking a little bit too much to say that Lopez should just play that type of point over and over again, because it would be pretty tough to replicate numerous times, but it's certainly got the right intention about it, that point.
Nadal comes up with it again. Just uncanny how he does this.
I mean, this is so good, it's frightening. I mean, credit to Lopez. Perfect approach shot, perfect length, perfect pace, gave him time to get position on the net, but not good enough.
Yeah, perfect line as well, and almost no time to manufacture that pass. Nadal really had to plod his way through the service game. Levels up now in the second set.
He's done well to hang on to his serve for a second time down that uncomfortable end for him this evening.
Well held in the stands. It's so interesting to observe Rafa when the ball goes out of the court, because here at US Open, if the ball goes out of the court and the fans can keep the balls, and I think Rafa really hates that. Because it means a newish ball will have to be introduced. And he really hates anything that's just not quite right, doesn't he?
Yeah, incredibly relaxed in certain other things. I mean, like at Wimbledon this year, he's left his laundry a little late, shall we say. Just, you know, whereas you would think he would be like on the ball with absolutely everything. It had to be perfect. Isn't necessarily the case. So he's a curious mix in some ways.
Struggling for shirts, was he? Fresh socks?
Something like that. Again there, he holds it almost solid in his hands, the racket, the grip, and he doesn't really feel it. He doesn't carve underneath it, doesn't really open the racket face as much as he should. It needs to just soften those hands a bit when Nadal's heading that at him. It's a little comfortable for Nadal in some ways when he sets up for that passing shot, because he feels as though he can extract that error at the net from Lopez. They're the sort of chances that, if you can take them, shorten your evening.
The older man warming to the task now. He nudges ahead in this second set. He leads 2-1. Third night session match for Rafael Nadal. Certainly warming to tennis under the lights. Really does thrive in this environment. Has a different outfit, obviously, for the night session and the day session. That's very much de rigueur now for most of the top players.
Not dissimilar to you. You have a different outfit for the evenings, don't you, Sam?
I do.
I've seen you strolling the streets of Manhattan.
In my different outfit.
Exactly,
Not
very different.
Not in my red dressing gown, though.
No, not yet. I refrained from taking a photo of you.
Very restrained of you, Mark.
I really like to see him just go through that return. At times you just feel with Lopez that he gets a little sort of static with his body weight and just doesn't get through the ball. It's really commit to it, particularly from that end when he's playing against the wind. He can really have a good swing at it, needs to have a good swing at it.
How often do you expect Nadal into the net in this match? Once a game?
I think so. I think it's a good play for him. I mean, I think it forces Lopez to drive through his backhand a bit, which is not something that he necessarily wants to do all the time. And I just think it, makes him have to sort of think about a way he's going to play. Has to be aware of what Nadal's doing, which keeps his eye off the ball a little bit.
Well, that's what he can do, Lopez. I'm not sure he knew too much about that one.
Yeah, it's a very sort of hit and miss shot at times when he's really being aggressive on it, but he can do it, and that's the most important thing.
Just sense out here, Nadal very aware of the danger from the other end, as if there's sort of a menace around every corner if he's not careful here.
Well, he's also very aware that if he can get this set, the resistance is going to drop quite considerably, I think. About Lopez's point, he doesn't seem to stay down through the shot quite as well as a lot of players do. There's a tendency for him to pull up as he's hitting it with his legs. He seems to almost come up a little too quickly through the shot, which pulls the racket head up as well, which is why he mistimes it.
Now Lopez would love to make another run to the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam. Made the quarters of Wimbledon in 2005, lost to Leighton Hewitt that year, and then a couple of years ago also at Wimbledon lost to the great run of Marat Safin. Real boost for Lopez to win his second singles title this year. Had to go down to Johannesburg to pick it up, but it had been 6 years since he'd won previously, and that was indoors in Vienna. Oh, stunning play. Trying everything tonight, Lopez, just to stay competitive out here. And showing some softness in those hands.
Rush applied to the head there for Lopez. I mean, that was a ridiculously difficult shot to pull off. What a return though. 134.
Yeah, real highs and lows in this game for Lopez. And a little opportunity opens up here for the top seed.
Challenging because he can, not challenging because he believes he's going to get anything from it. Oh, I lie. Look at that. I mean, he looked.
Well, expensive for Lopez, second double in the game, and a second chance here for Nadal to move ahead in this second set.
Didn't look as though he had any conviction that that ball was out when he challenged for it.
And a little against the run of play. It's the top seed who breaks first in this second set and moves into a 3-2 lead. All is well in Rafa's world. Has had some problem solving to do in the second set, but somewhat of a capitulation in that last game by Feliciana Lopez. And you wonder where the older Spaniard is going to go from here.
Thank you. The goal fence, 15 Lopez has 2 challenges.
Real test of Lopez's temperament right now, because he's actually been fairly competitive for the last, I want to say, 45 minutes. Really, that opening 15 minutes was a blast from Nadal. He really rocked Lopez, but Lopez came back. He sort of got into the match, created some chances for himself. How resilient is he?
By that expression, not terribly resilient. I'm not putting my house on his resilience here.
Obviously it's the first year that Nadal's come into this event with different strings as well, so I think that's also helped him a little bit. I feel as though it definitely on the clay gave him a little bit more, even at Wimbledon with the heavy balls, and I think here again we're seeing that, you know, he's just getting a little more. I know he changed the grip on the serve, but I also feel like it's helped him from the back of the court here as well. A couple of times that he has lost, you really felt as though he's been underpowered. Never felt that this year.
Just about squeezed it, got himself in a little trouble there, Lopez, but extracted himself rather well.
Yes, I think he must have felt as though Nadal was going to lob here because of the way that he moves to this ball, because, yeah, he's already going backwards. As you say, he made a great adjustment. Predictable coming in cross court with the slice as well, and missing that one on top of it. And this match very much going to plan for Nadal right now.
Yes, 3 games in a row, trying to stretch out now in this second set. Well, the fans that are left here trying their best to keep the atmosphere going. Looks like a young Rafa, doesn't he? I'd estimate this Arthur Ashe Stadium barely half full now, a lot left after that first set.
I think the move that Nadal's in on his forehand side, that's possibly not a good ploy from Lopez. Just dropping the ball on that particular part of the court. Plenty of intent about his forehand tonight, right from the get-go.
clean hitting from Nadal.
Well, he's not in the same league as Nadal in terms of movement, Lopez, and he was getting pushed one side then the other. And I'm not sure if it was intentional there from Nadal, that final forehand, but the fact that it was short proved to be very tricky for Lopez, who had taken up a reasonably deep position expecting Nadal to come in. He had a bit of length on that approach shot. Precarious position for Lopez right now in this second set.
Slight frustration there for the top seed. You can see he'd just like to crack open this second set decisively for once and all. And Lopez does well just to stay in touch, but it's still Nadal ahead with that break, leading 4-3 in this second set. Nadal came off the back of quite a difficult 2009 in terms of injury and form, with a record-breaking year. Picked up his 8th Grand Slam title at Wimbledon, beating Thomas Berdych in that final in 3 sets. Picked up his 18th Masters title in Madrid this year, and won all 3 ATP Masters Series clay court tournaments. The first player in history to do that, and Roland Garros in the same year. Quite remarkable. Going very nicely in this 4th round match here.
Hasn't been able to really effectively return the first serve of Nadal. Lopez in this match, he's on 25 out of 29 points on his first serve. Magnificent, isn't it? You never tire of it. Such a watchable shot. So much going on. It's got early take back.
Fourth ace for Nadal now in this match. Comfortable.
Yes. Again, that sort of return, I think, at 40 love from Lopez is just a nothing return. He's lost the game. He needs to just put something in Nadal's mind that's something a little bit different. Just come in, swing from the hip, take it early, sort of almost like a John McEnroe way of returning a second serve and coming behind it. Just do something on that point. At least it's going to make Nadal think at some stage, well, when I have a second serve on a big point, he has done that to me this evening, but just knocking it back in the middle of the course, just giving Nadal a chance to just enhance the confidence he already has. It's about as clumsy as it gets for Nadal.
Just get the feeling at the moment that Lopez is just hitting the ball rather than really trying to construct the points as he was in that opening set. What a return. He does so many great things during the course of the match, you almost get blasé about it.
Absolutely.
Looking to hunt down this service game now, Nadal, and no wonder Lopez a little look down the court, a worried look down the court.
He's feeling Nadal's presence on every shot.
The sense of going, gone here for Lopez as Nadal arrives at a point to take a 2-sets-to-love lead. Get a real sense out here, the fans are really pulling for the underdog. And Lopez survives just a little longer in this second set, but when we come back it'll be Nadal to serve for a 2-sets-to-love lead. The top seed yet to drop a set at this year's US Open. And this looking to be one of his more straightforward matches. Had to fight pretty hard in the first round against Russia's Timuras Gabashvili. Took him a couple of tie breaks to really calm down the challenge of Gabashvili. He had a tie break against Denis Istomin as well from Uzbekistan, but very straightforward against the Frenchman Gilles Simon. This match's got that kind of feel to it. What can Lopez do here as Nadal serves for the second set? Stunning hitting from both men.
What does he have to do to win? And he's just shaking his head, understandably so. You could see here, after he just rips this forehand, Nadal somehow gets this ball back and has recovered. He knows he's got to do something. He's thinking about chipping it, and then he ends up trying to flatten it out. Amazing retrieving from Nadal.
He's found a very good rhythm on serve tonight, and the top seed now has 3 set points. Did look wide. Lopez looks like he's not going to challenge, and Nadal wraps up the second set and moves within another set of another Grand Slam quarter-final. Well, day 9 here at the US Open has, as you predicted, Mark, morphed into day 10, but Rafael Nadal won't mind too much. Things going very much to plan. Although we saw in that last game Lopez really have a swing at things. Do you think he's thrown enough at this match so far?
No, I don't actually. I don't think he's served and volleyed enough. I don't think he's thrown caution to the wind enough. I think that fairly predictable how things were going to go with the way that Nadal's been playing in this tournament, especially in his last couple of matches, if he was going to play semi-conservatively. And I just feel as though he's missed a little bit of a trick, and suddenly 2 sets to love down. It's an awfully long way to come back against Nadal. But yeah, I still think he could make some sort of impression in this match, but it's going to be very difficult. He has to change up his game. No, I'm not sure he's got that sort of deep reservoir of belief when he comes up against the top guys when they're in, a major tournament. I think, just the emotions of a 5-set match and having to win 3 sets. I don't think he backs himself 100% that he can come out with the win. That's a classic point. If he volleyed better, then he would have been in. But the thing is, he doesn't back himself. He knows that Nadal is going to fire one at him, and but that's his only way of really winning, is by trying to finish it off in the forecourt in a point like that.
Well, for you Cristiano Lopez fans out there is, I suppose, a smidgen of good news. He has come back a couple of times in his career from 2 sets to love down, most notably at Wimbledon in 2002. That's 2 sets to love down against the Argentine Guillermo Cañas, and came back to win 10-8 in the 5th set. Actually, Lopez doesn't have a bad record actually when it's actually gone the distance. Won 11, lost 8. Nadal has no intention of this going anywhere near a 5th set.
Mini opportunity perhaps slipping by here for Nadal at the moment. Just a hint of frustration with the way he sort of swung his racket behind him. He knows that at above 30 Lopez was wobbling early in this 3rd set.
Yes, and a good hold for the man from Madrid, and slightly better numbers in that set for Lopez. A lot more competitive, but very similar numbers for Nadal.
Yeah, he's been consistently excellent in this match. He's really just been controlled. He's done what he's needed to do, come up with a few special moments, but more importantly, he's just controlled the pace, the tempo, the way that the match is being played. It's up to Lopez to somehow find a way to just inject something a little new. It's always going to be fairly difficult to accomplish if you can't get your racket on the ball, and the width that Nadal has managed to create tonight, with that, particularly with that forehand down the line, and then he can pull you cross court. You've got so much of that baseline to cover. It's really interesting when you watch a player hit that type of return to see where they actually end up, and you see how Lopez's left leg was in front, but it was still in front as he came through the shot. There wasn't really that commitment to come through, rotate through the shot, and bring his back foot through.
Do you feel almost from Lopez, he's playing an okay match, but there is a fundamental lack of belief out here that he's got any chance?
Yeah, and rightly so. He's, the rankings don't lie. He's not as good a player as Nadal, and Nadal has played, somewhere near his best tonight. So the result is not surprising, but I do feel as though he has.
That is one of the low points. Sorry, Mark, as you were saying.
Yeah, I feel as though he's left some tools in the garage. I really feel as though, he hasn't brought everything to the court today. And I think that obviously when you play Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, Murray, anyone like that, you've got to come with the real sense of depth to your game, different dimensions. And I feel he's been a little too predictable, and predictable doesn't get it done.
Nadal carving his way through yet another game. suppose on these sort of difficult evenings, Lopez can console himself with that big star in Spain.
He actually serves. His predicament is, Lopez, that he actually serves too big for how he moves. He's a 130 guy, but he doesn't move well enough behind that to serve and volley effectively. He's too far behind the baseline, and that's one thing that stops him from being willing to out and out serve and volley off his first serve.
That's an excellent observation, I have to say. And you wouldn't think it would be a major problem. You think, great, have a big serve, wonderful. Other players wouldn't. I wonder if he actually realises that. Probably not. He might try and slow his first serve down and just use the 130 as a change-up.
Awesome return.
Just there, an illustration of just the point you made. Not quick enough to pick up the return off such a fast serve. And in a pickle here on serve. Break points for Nadal.
Oh, you can't believe it, can you? He let that little opportunity go, as we said in the opening game of this third set. Doesn't want to let these two break points go as well. Otherwise life could just get a little awkward. Well, a few times this evening Nadal has been conservative.
Yeah, just a little glance up there at his coach, Uncle Tony. He knows. Just wide. And Lopez living dangerously here.
But the important thing is that he still has a pulse. Nadal doing so well to get the ball back. I didn't think he'd done enough for that one as well. So a couple of chances on the passing shots and failing to make Lopez play.
And for once, Lopez getting the better of Nadal.
Well, it was a good choice of shot with the drop shot. It was an excellent attempt from Nadal with the one through the legs. Don't often see it from him.
And Lopez somehow hangs on and nudges ahead in this third set. no surprise to see a couple of Spaniards in the later stages of a Grand Slam draw. It's becoming so prevalent now in men's tennis, but one man certainly leads the way, Rafael Nadal, very much the player of 2010, looking for yet another Grand Slam quarter-final. 2 times a semi-finalist in the last couple of years. How he would love to go a couple of steps further and complete that career Grand Slam. Still a little work to do here.
I like that hit. I like the hit. I still like to see him go into the court after he hits it, though. I just feel like it's all coming from the arm, and he's not sort of covering it at all and getting his body weight going forward and imposing himself. It's just almost, that was almost a slap, but the mindset has to be that way.
Oh, lovely hand. Nadal quickly putting Lopez back into serve.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one, isn't it, Sam? Because if we talk about sort of the respective strengths of the players before the match, you say, big serve from Lopez, likes to be an attacking player. But if you were to actually say in isolation who volleys the best, there's only one person, that's Nadal. Different league. And he's lucky. Irresistible combination. Again, you can see where Lopez actually hit that volley from. He was just on the service line. Makes it that much harder to find the angles you need.
Well, the 28-year-old under pressure once more on serve in this set. Love 30 in his first service game, held on, break points down in his second service game, 3 of them. Love 30 here once more.
Nadal has the challenge.
Good volley. Big angle change there for Lopez.
It's good psychology there from Nadal, praising his opponent's volley. Made a point of it as well. That would have made Lopez feel good for a moment.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Now that is a great pass, but I just want to look at Lopez's movement here as he hits after he hits this first volley. Tremendous return from Nadal. I mean, how often we see that? Great dig, great dig. What are you doing? Where are you going? Stranded.
Break point.
Nicely done. Frustrating set at the moment for Nadal that he hasn't been able to break through.
But that is the strength of Nadal, isn't it? He just goes on and on and on. Punching ace from Lopez into double figures now for the match. That one served at 135 miles an hour. And Lopez drags himself through another service game and remains ahead in this third set. Well, the fans here on Arthur Ashe happy to say it's 1 o'clock in the morning now, and they're still feeling there's some more tennis left in this match. Nadal, the top seed, would love a quick and easy passage through to the quarterfinals once more. But, dogged performance here in the third set from Feliciano Lopez. At times like this, you wish the stewards would just get everyone from the top stands and just move everyone down into the lower tiers. I think it would just add so much to these kind of matches when they're played at this sort of time.
Well, they're generally pretty good at the Open in doing that, aren't they? I think, as you say, right now, 1 o'clock in the morning, definitely time to make the announcement. That dribbled over life would have been a little more interesting for Nadal. It's one of those sets where you're not anxious that you're really going to get yourself into trouble in the match, but you're just a little frustrated that life could just go on a little bit longer than you would have wished. Somehow you just need to deal with that and continue to play at the level you have been the entire match.
It's been intense tonight, though. Nadal, very few lapses, if any, in his level or his concentration.
This is going in, I think. Well, I would love to know the pace of that smash. He has absolutely crunched it. Where it bounced and where he ended up actually striking it. Amazing how the wind's still so strong down there.
Another quick service game for Nadal. And guess what? Lopez is back serving again. And Lopez must feel like he's just continually serving this entire set.
Yeah, it's perfect from Nadal once again. Hasn't been perfect conditions here at this year's Open, has it? It's been tough for the players. First 4 days were brutally hot, then you've had this wind that's been here consistently since Friday.
It's interesting though, you haven't really heard any player particularly having a moan about the conditions. And players certainly will have a bit of a grumble if they're not that happy, but they've done well this year. As I was saying earlier, very much a celebrity back in Spain is Lopez. Doesn't have any problem getting his tickets for his beloved Real Madrid, and there's another man that doesn't have any problem getting a seat either. Quite likes all the movie stars and all that sort of scene, does Lopez. Had a cameo appearance in Spain's most popular soap opera, Los Serrano, a couple of years ago. I'm not sure the fascination of the ham, to be honest with you, but hey, Spain, ham, I guess it's big there.
Not dissimilar to his role this evening so far.
I just gave you that, didn't I? Well, his most vibrant game yet, Lopez. No dramas in that one. And remains ahead in this third set, leading 4-3, no breaks so far. Seems a very long time ago when Nadal made his debut here at the US Open back in 2003 as a 17-year-old. Beat Spain's Fernando Vicente in the first round. And then lost a very tight match to Younes El-Anoui, 7-6 in that third set. Didn't really have much of a serve then, didn't really have much of a backhand, but everyone knew there was something special about this Spaniard.
Getting a head start.
She's stolen your job. That's why we have you out here.
You haven't seen the inside of my room this week.
That's something I never want to see.
Oh, come on.
Another straightforward game for the top seed. And eyeing up a break here, a decisive break. Really doesn't want to be detained any longer. Certainly when you think about it, even if he was to finish in the next sort of 20 minutes, he probably wouldn't get to bed for at least another 2 to 3 hours. Oh, real urgency about Nadal now. Almost feel he's just determined not to make a single mistake in this game.
Not quite the same urgency in Lopez's footwork there. He didn't get himself around the ball well enough to give himself the room to hit that forehand up the line. He was trying to improvise.
Yeah, got him that time. Little predictable Lopez.
He might be timing his move to perfection. Would have liked to have made it a little earlier in the set, but now still fine.
Well, 4 break points have come and gone in this set for Nadal. He's got 2 more here. It's been coming for a while, and Nadal delighted that he's made what he thinks could be the decisive breakthrough and moves potentially within 1 game of another quarter-final berth here at the US Open. Just a shade over 2 hours. The top seed's been detained out here. Tomorrow night it will be, well, tonight actually. These are in the early hours of the morning now. It'll be the turn of Roger Federer up against the French Open finalist, Robin Söderling. So, just the finishing touches for the top seed. And yes, Feliciano Lopez, 23rd seed, has other ideas. Nadal now serving for a place in the quarterfinals. Well, Lopez has tried to make a match of it tonight. Fans out here have really enjoyed it. But the end surely in sight here for Nadal. 3 match points.
Thank you.